Perfect. Awesome. Yes. So today I'm going to talk to you guys about conversational commerce, and that really means turning those one-on-one interactions into a profit center versus just customer service only. And my name's Nicole. I run strategic partnerships for the East Coast. So if you're in New York, holler at me. I'm the one-man show out here, so would definitely love to meet up. And that's my email. If you want to connect with me afterwards, also add me on LinkedIn. I'll definitely respond to your messages. And you also will get 1 month off of Gorgeous for joining the webinar. So definitely take advantage of that. But I'm going to go ahead and get right into it. So, I'll kind of bring it back to COVID and kind of what we saw at the beginning of March from a sales perspective. So at the beginning of March, we saw an initial drop of 33% of sales and customer ticket volumes. But then slowly after that, we almost saw a 2x to 3x increase in e-commerce sales. So any of you guys that have seen that trend, I'm sure you're kind of figuring out what to do to keep up with that support. And what that kind of means for your support team as well is while, you guys were getting all these sales and getting all these tickets, your support team stayed the same. And this is from a study we did through Gorgeous to kind of understand what the user and the brands were seeing in their customer service help desk. So there was actually a bottleneck that we found, and we kind of tried to figure out, how to keep up with your support. And so we put together the best practices, which I'll kind of walk you guys through in the next couple steps here. But as you can kind of see this increase, but then the support team kind of stayed the same. And just in general, what we saw from support is a lot of different ads were going on. So a lot of different customer messaging. So I think it's really important for customer service to always keep your customer in mind. So when everyone's going through a hard time and going through the same things, like Brava Home is a great example. They used the Corona diet and talked about Netflix, which a lot of people were doing, and kind of targeted their ads more at home content. And so when people were responding to those ads and going straight into the customer service channel, you were kind of understanding, oh, I was able to target my consumer that way. Same with Theragun, everything from doing sports outside, group fitness, and using Theragun after those kind of activities is no more. So Theragun really kind of pivoted their marketing and did it for like your personal masseuse at home. We also saw a huge increase in pushing self-care and finding your new heroes throughout kind of the BLM movement. We saw a lot of different brands come out with different trust values and new values of how they're supporting. So I think those were kind of the four biggest eras of content that we saw that kind of speak to the types of support we were also seeing. And I think one thing to note from your customer service standpoint is to really understand your consumer is to talk to your customer support team, because they're the ones that are actually engaging with your consumer every single day and seeing what's kind of gaining traction, which ads are being responded to the most. So I think that's also really important in how you can drive extra conversions, drive up that AOV and that return on ad spend as well. So let's get into conversational commerce. So we want to help you increase your conversion and your retention rate through one-on-one real-time interactions. And how can you do that? You might ask. And I kind of want to take it back for a second, but what we saw through another study from Facebook is we saw there's an increase in mobile messaging apps, and I'm sure that's kind of no surprise to you guys. I think it started off support as being kind of phone calls and emails, and that was the main mode, but slowly people have kind of switched to phones. And while email is still strong, phone is still strong, chat, SMS, Facebook Messenger, Instagram, those are all becoming new forms of support. And so we actually found that 61% of consumers want to message their businesses regularly. So if you're not already on those types of workflows or have them integrated as your support channels, definitely I encourage you to look into that, because you could be missing out on opportunity that's readily available for you that you can actually activate. And same with, we found that 69% of consumers said being able to message a business helps them feel more confident. So I think, that quick response time, being able to kind of text someone or, using that natural communication method that we're slowly kind of moving towards is a good sign that you feel like you're actually, talking to someone. You're not on the phone waiting. You're waiting for an email response or talking to a bot to get through pressing tons of different numbers. And so I think that really helps identify that people are looking for new types of interaction, which often comes from chat and more casual ways of communication. Another study showed, why do consumers message in? So 83% want to learn about a service, 75% want to get support, and 76% want to make a purchase. So I think this is really important to note, that when someone's coming to your page, they're writing in, they're looking for that quick response time so that you can respond to them in a quick manner, without having to kind of wait and answer those questions. If someone's coming in and looking for these three things, it's probably because they're looking to either get support, make a purchase, learn about a product or service, and that could be a new paying customer or an already paying customer. But in order to kind of increase that retention, you're going to want to treat them with care and identify those customers. And, with our tool, especially, you're able to kind of pull up that Shopify, Magento, or BigCommerce data right in front of you to allow your customer support team to get a holistic view of the consumer. And if you don't have that already, I think that's still something really important for you to really understand the consumer and why they're messaging in, to kind of upsell them. So 28%, that is the metric that we have found, is the conversion rate for pre-sale chats or SMS replied to in less than 10 minutes. So that means anyone that hasn't purchased within the last 30 days from your website is most likely have a 30% chance higher of converting, which is really important. And that's a huge jump. And I think, like I mentioned, when someone is coming to your page, they're looking for that immediate response, that immediate support. And that's when you can really get them to build that trust and loyalty. So we did a study with our platform as well to kind of understand the different types of consumer behavior. And we found that out of 500 pre-sale tickets, actually 230 converted. So about 50% of those tickets converted, and we drove sales for about $22,000 for a response time under 2 minutes and 8 seconds. So that just goes to show how powerful it is to kind of retain those customers once you are already talking with that customer, how to really instill that trust and not just get through your support tickets as, on the back end, but really turn your support team into actually a sales team, because they're the ones that are engaging with your customer. They're the ones that can kind of drive that support. I like to use Apple as an example because they've just done such amazing customer support in store. And, because now things are just moving online so much, the one thing to really differentiate yourself with is that support. So while there's a higher premium you pay for Apple products, you kind of know what you're getting with that support. And they've really fleshed that out. So I think that's definitely something to keep top of mind of how you can really differentiate yourself. I know I won't purchase from somewhere if I get bad customer support, but if someone is willing to give me a promo code or turn that around, I think you naturally have that, draw to someone to kind of repurchase from them and have a good and turn their bad experience around. So just think of it from that point of view. I'd also encourage you to kind of, go to your competitors' websites, see how they respond, how quickly are they responding to their customer support, and see how you measure up against that, so that you can kind of benchmark that in your own mind for your support team and how to really drive those conversions. So how are we going to get you guys to kind of, capitalize on those one-on-one interactions? And that comes through an omni-channel approach. So this is everything from chat, SMS, Facebook, Instagram, email, phone, all in one place to kind of make sure that you're getting customers from all angles, because no one customer has one preferred method of communication. But nowadays there's just so many, and especially now that we're living in an era of such technology forward thinking, then it's definitely a good point for you to be integrating all those different apps into your support channels. So post-purchase email upsells. So when someone purchases from you, something to think about is bringing them back to your website. So not only are you doing, thank you so much for purchasing, but see here, these highlighted fields, we can actually auto-populate that with our Shopify integration. So rather than you having to kind of regurgitate all the information and look up this information, we're able to kind of pull in those variables with our integration. And then what we can do is, because of our other loyalty lion or smile points, we actually are kind of making this very personalized to them. and driving them back to your website. So not only are you kind of giving them all these different variables rather than copying and pasting, but you're actually making it very personal to them and then driving them back to your website. So that's a really good tool to use. And then you're signing it off with the happy department. So you can make it really personalized while also reducing your workload and not responding to those mundane, repetitive inquiries multiple times. So here on the back end with Gorgeous, you can see, so when a ticket is created and if the message intent contains shipping status, and someone is asking, where is my order? We've actually built our own machine learning database to understand what those intentions of a question are and what those sentiments are. So are they happy? Are they negative? We're able to identify that so that you don't have to spend extra time prioritizing those tickets, but you can actually already automate a lot of these where is my order responses. So here, these green fields, the customer names. We also have an integration with Recharge. So shout out to those teams. And what you can do here is automate that response almost up to 40%, so that you don't have to have your support team spending time on those typical questions that are being asked multiple times a day, and making sure that you're focusing your energy and time on really high priority tasks. And so as I kind of mentioned, so not only does it identify the shipping status, but we can also understand if it was less than 15 days, if the shipping status is in transit, if it's not yet fulfilled and they want to cancel, we can automatically cancel that for you, because it'll understand and read if something is fulfilled or not, without you having to waste that extra couple minutes to kind of find where that information lies. The other tool I would say is Messenger. So we're seeing a huge increase in Facebook Messenger. I think what's so great here is when you're running these Facebook ads, you can really see that they've done a great job here of, hey, get 10% off your purchase, click to send us a message and get your discount code. So what this does is it pulls the customer into a chat and really puts on that one-on-one interaction so that you're building that trust, driving that engagement with them. And then bringing them back to your website to claim the coupon code. So now you understand the customers in your queue. You can talk to them very sweetly. You can give them that promo code, and then now you've also populated their data on the back end. And it's kind of this full circle loop of how to once they respond to this ad, you can actually retain them as a customer and really change their experience and have control over how they're engaging with you. And if they have questions, now they have a person directly to speak with. So I think that's really a great use of Facebook Messenger. And I definitely encourage you to kind of look into it if you're not already using it. Same with Facebook and Instagram comments. We integrate with that as well. So you can like a lot of these comments. You can hide the negative comments. You can now understand if someone is angry, if someone's sad. You know, we get tons of inquiries about comments where people are like, this is a scam, this is horrible. And, you know, people that are managing these brands might be one-person teams, so they can't go through them as quickly as they want to. You know, we're able to bulk action a lot of these types of comments. And then also, I think one positive thing from this too is if someone's tagging their friends and writing a heart emoji, those are social leads. So those are leads that could be qualified. You can offer them a promo code, upsell them, and drive them back to your website. So now you're not only engaging one person, but you're engaging two people. And if you don't want to share that with anyone, you can say, hey, email us. You know, we're so sorry you had this experience, or we love that you love our brand. You know, let's go ahead and get them activated and really, you know, optimize on your support channels across all different workflows. And I think this is a great way to do it. And on the back end here, you can see how we have this tag of social media. So our machine learning is able to detect if something is positive or negative. And you can also customize this to a specific word. If you want to understand, you know, how many times people are commenting a specific word, you could even, you know, measure that with a specific tag. You can really do so much more and optimize on that, especially as we're kind of coming up with Black Friday, Cyber Monday, really understanding what's working for you, how to manage all those workflows coming in. We typically break it up into 3 different questions. So one is those social leads, one is those negative comments, and one of those is those social questions that often get missed to really understand where to prioritize those tickets. And SMS, so this one is huge nowadays. I will say SMS has a click-through rate of almost 90%. I think that's natural, and it makes sense that we're on our phones all day. If you get a text, it feels very personalized to you. You're most likely going to open it. And it allows you to do a lot of support. It feels very personalized. You can call the customer by their name. You now also have a personal piece of information, such as their phone number. You can send them a nice GIF, emoji, speak to them in first person, and it doesn't feel like a huge blast. It actually just feels very personalized to you. So again, SMS is something we're seeing every day. And I think that's a great way to retain your customers and constantly offer them promo codes, or just, check in on how they're doing, really try to reactivate and engage those consumers. And then, so one more thing I want to talk about is chat. Chat is really important. I think oftentimes, as I mentioned, people are coming to your website. They want immediate answers. They don't want to wait a day to respond to emails. But chat really allows you to kind of do a lot of things without having to be necessarily on chat 24/7. You can have chat pop up as a simple welcome. You can give them a special time-based offer, such as 10% off. How did you get here today? Highlight a charitable cause that you guys are working with. Kind of answer their questions before they're even asking them. And you can fire this on multiple different pages. So the home page is a great way to just kind of initiate that initial interaction. You can also create some self-serve FAQ questions. If you have 3 of the most commonly asked questions, they can self-serve on those, start their own return. Make it really easy for your customer to have a good experience and field those questions before you actually have to spend additional extra energy into it, but still keep it very personalized, as you can kind of see here. Happy biking. The other example is also your collection and product page. So this is a great example. We had one of our shoe partners, they kept getting returns based on a number of size issues. So they started to realize, if they just had this pop-up come up and say, hey, usually women go half a size up, it actually reduced their numbers of returns. So rather than you having all these returning customers and having to pay for that sort of shipping, you're really able to kind of answer their questions before and target them and field them, so that you're making sure that you're keeping the customer in mind and not even having to create a support ticket from that. Same with, having a personal interaction, like, I'm your fashion consultant, let me know if I can help. Those shoes are made with 100% cruelty-free faux leather. So give them some sort of a highlighted review, or give them a special discount, or let them know, what partner you're working with or what's so special about them. So I think there's really great ways that you can engage with your customer on all the different product pages and fire them away. And then the last is the cart page. So, we talk a lot about abandoning carts and how do we keep them on there? So, the one issue we see is there's no engagement on that cart page. So how do you really kind of have your support team putting them over to make that purchase? And I think that comes from having that chat bot go up and say, hey, we're so happy you're excited to purchase. This is going to look great. Or, upselling them on with a specific promo code, giving them free shipping last minute, making sure that they feel trusted about their purchase rather than just abandoning cart and forgetting about it. So I think there's a lot you can do with chat, again, and I think it's super important that you use all these different methods. And again, it's obviously varied on how much time you have, but I think with automation, you can actually alleviate the time needed to answer all these different questions with more people, but actually scale with technology that allows you to automate a lot of these responses. And just to recap, so, the conversion of percentage of chat is just so much higher. You can create different discounts on social. The conversion per agents, if you have a bigger team, you can see how much sales they're driving, what their first response times are. We have a great analytics section that allows you to understand how to view these different variables and understand, what some people are doing better, what's working, what's not working, so that you can really optimize your support. And make sure that you're focusing on those customers that, sometimes it's better to, spend more money on, having good support, and less so on just trying to get new customers, because then you can get those engaged returning customers who are going to have higher spend overall and their lifetime value. So 30% customer service, again, that's kind of what we talked about from an efficiency perspective, improvement on ROAS, and increased conversion rate with chat. So those are kind of the 3 main points we talked about. Again, with Gorgeous, We're the #1 help desk for e-commerce. Everything we talked about today, we can fully integrate with, and we don't charge based on feature. You can get everything in one place: email, chat, Facebook, Messenger, Instagram. We're fully integrated with Shopify, Magento, and BigCommerce as of this week. You can see the tracking, automate a lot of those responses. And on the right-hand side, here are some big partners that we work with. We're actually on track to hit about 4,000 brands by the end of this month, which is really exciting for us. And please definitely connect with me after. I'd love to talk to you and just understand if we're a good fit. And if not, I'm always down to talk and chat and maybe do a little early happy hour. So there's my email. You'll get a month off, and I'm just super excited to be here. So thanks, Derek.
Awesome. Great presentation. Max said, "This is fire," as you were going. So I think you're getting through to people. And
I love it.
Yeah.
I didn't even see that.
Whether it is Gorgeous or any tool, I think, that's helping with your customer service. What I said in chat is that the goal is always to work towards 24/7 real-time live chat. And you can see the stats here that prove that is really, it's part of the future of e-commerce, and it's why I love having Gorgeous present. Because if you aren't working towards that, then you're just going to become an antiquated business at some point. The same way that I showed the slide where Payless Shoes is going out of business and we aren't maintaining those customer relationships. Even the big players in the space are still getting this wrong. So it's a huge opportunity as a small player to actually do something. It's not that complicated. It's not rocket science. It's literally just the concept of having conversations with your customers right before they purchase. And if you just work a little bit hard at it, create some automations and ticket mitigation strategies around it, and then use a tool like Gorgeous for tracking the ROI of it, this is what you get the buy-in from the rest of your team right here. If you don't have the sales numbers, then your CEO is going to be like, "No thanks, don't want it." Or your CMO is going to be like, "We got other problems." Or it's going to, you're going to start separating customer service from marketing when in fact they're actually more integrated and fixed up. This is my rant.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it. I also, one thing is like we can now create teams. So like your marketing, your support, social can handle that. And then your support team can handle another leg of it. I think there's just so many different ways to do it. And it takes no time at all to integrate. That's super, super easy, as you know.
Yeah, and I think that's the future, is the emergence of the sales team. I've talked about in other presentations, is that'll be a component to e-commerce the same way you have floor sales reps when you're when we used to go into stores in real life. So one question really quick, does Gorgeous integrate with Instagram direct messages?
So no, we are still waiting on Apple to open that API. It is probably our #1 most requested feature, but once Apple opens that to us, like we'll be ready to go and hit the ground running. It's just waiting on that.
I think that's Apple Business Chat is what we're for that one, right?
Because they just launched that, right?
Yeah, I don't know if DMs are open. I know that, but Instagram and Apple have the exact same problem. They're both holding us back from it because literally you have to have a direct API integration. They don't allow it. But I don't remember if Instagram opened it up or not, because I know there was something like that.
No, we're still waiting. I mean, I think it would be like a huge celebration in our company just for when we can launch that.
Yeah. Right. When I was working inside a large beauty box company, we had 80 people on customer service. We had 3 people full time on iPads that were just to answer Instagram DM inquiries. I'm not even kidding you. They sat in the office next to me, and I was just like, "Wow, that was their full time." Also, really quick, we've got vested interest. I don't know if you want to plug vested interest a little bit.
Yes. Vested interest. We have our second episode this Thursday. I can send out a link. So what we did is we launched a Shark Tank style, series. And basically what that does is we're working closely with some venture capital firms to invite our brands and invite new brands to come check out Gorgeous, and also put them in front of customers. And then we vote at the end to kind of understand who has the best pitch presentation. What that does is it makes it really fun. It's super enjoyable to watch. Derek, I don't know if you caught the last episode, but we almost had like 100 people show up, and we're getting so much traffic from it. So it's a really good time. Also, you can engage with other brands in the chat. So I highly encourage you to check it out. It's gorgias.com/vested-interest, and I can write it in the chat here too.
I got it here. Yeah, we've got it.
Oh, you did it. All right, you're on it. So yeah, we're super excited about that new kind of stream because it just makes it really fun for us, and we get to see some really awesome brand pitches, and you can also build your network and maybe partner with some of these brands too.
Yeah, I love it. Awesome. Thank you so much, Nicole. We're going to move right into the next presentation with